You're listening to the Fierce Fatty Podcast, episode 82, How to Love Your Fat Body Challenge. Let's do it.
Perfect.
I'm Victoria Welsby, TEDx speaker, best-selling author and fat activist. I have transformed my life from hating my body with desperately low self-esteem to being a courageous and confident, fierce fatty who loves every inch of this jelly. Society teaches us living in a fat body is bad, but what if we spent less time, money, and energy on the pursuit of thinness and instead focused on the things that actually matter, like if pineapple on pizza should be outlawed, or if the mullet was the greatest haircut of the 20th century. So, how do you stop negative beliefs about your fat body controlling your life? It's the Fierce Fatty Podcast. Let's begin. Hello, Fierce Fatties. How are you? It's a bit chilly McNilly today, isn't it? Are you cold? whenever or wherever in the world that you're listening to this. Can you relate to my current situation of being a little bit chilly McNilly? It shouldn't be. That's the thing. It's very surprising because it's been very warm in Vancouver and I've been out with my shorts on, with my legs out and my arms out and my tits out and my flaps out, all of it. Yeah, you know how it's like getting warmer and at nighttime having to have a fan and not have your duvet. But the thing is, here's the problem. Do you get this problem? This big problem. If you don't have something covering you, like at least a sheet, then the monsters can get you. But if you have a sheet, then you're safe from the monsters. Is this just me that feels like this? And I know there's no monsters, but it just doesn't feel safe not having something covering you. And so even though I might be like sweating my tits off, I'm like, oh, can I possibly just have a little bit of the covering from the monsters with this sheet on, even though I'm sweating my tits off? Is that just me? I don't know. One of my neighbours is like, oh, I sleep on top of the bed, on top of the sheets, and I was just like, aren't you? Hello? What about the shield to protect yourself? Anyway, last night I went out to walk Dougal, and someone has hit my new car. So annoying. So someone hit the front. They must have been turning the corner and my car was like on the end of the street there, and they swiped the side of it, and the bumper is come off, and the bonnet is dented, or as you would say in North America, the hood is dented. So that's really fucking annoying, isn't it? I felt really mad. And so I was like, I felt really mad, and I was like, Dougie wanted to pee on a couple more things. He wants to pee on everything known to humanity. Every blade of grass. He does like the tiniest little wee. And I'm like, come on, just can't you do like other dogs go out and they do a wee and they're like, I've done my wees now, thank you very much. And they go back inside. Not Dougal, no. He's like, no, I want to hang out here for at least 55 hours so I can do a millimeter of wee on each, not even a milliliter, that's like length. I'm thinking about volume. So it's really annoying. Anyway, so I'm just complaining about things. My dog would wheeze small amounts. And I was like, no, come on, Dougie, you've had enough wheeze. And I was like, in a mood. And then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Dougie. Like, I should let you hang around for another minute just to wee some more, even though we probably didn't have any wee left. So then I was like, do you know what? I don't like this feeling of feeling mad. And I was thinking, maybe the person is poor and they hit my car and they felt terrible, and then they were like, oh my God, I can't have that against my insurance because it's really expensive to get that fixed, and so I'm just going to drive off. And so I'm like, in my head I'm thinking, yeah, maybe it would have been really difficult for them to have an increase in insurance premiums, and trying to come out of that way. But then I was like, no, no, I just got a new car. It was not new, you know, a new to me car, and someone's hit it and made it look less pretty. And yeah, so I had a bath and I watched funny videos, and that cheered me up. That did cheer me up, actually, and I'm laughing a lot. So yeah. If you experience that, maybe have a bath with a bath bomb and watch some funny videos. It might maybe make you feel a little bit better. But then I saw it again this morning and I was like, for fuck's sake, who are these rude people? Anyway, so today, you remember in the last episodes, I was talking about I had the How to Love Your Fat Body challenge. Oh, well, people loved it, and the shit that they were doing was incredible. Oh, just, yeah. And I really feel like it helped a lot of people. And so I wanted to make sure that if you're just you didn't do it, and you're more of a listener versus a viewer, so that you can listen in. And so what I've done is I've broken up the 3 days into 3 smaller segments, so you don't have the beginnings of me being like, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite snack? Or whatever. And so that's all cut out. And so it's just the content there for you. So what we're going to do is, you can do this any way you like. You do you. But because this is like a challenge that's over 3 days, you might want to either listen to this whole episode in one and then do the challenges, or you might want to, at the end of each challenge day that's in this podcast episode, is to pause and do the thing, pause the podcast, do the challenge, and then continue pressing play. But you know, you might be driving or something, or on your bike or whatever, and in that case, just go ahead and listen and then do the magical stuff. Okay. All right. So let's get into the first day of this challenge. I want to introduce you to the Self-Love Mountain. So the Self-Love Mountain, I like to use this analogy of our journey to get to a place of body love. It's like climbing a mountain. Now, it would be great if the mountain just looked like the mountain that's on the screen, but the mountain kind of looks more like this. So we have fear crevasse, upper limiting ledge, diet culture ditch, inner critic valley, fat phobia falls, and many other things, and things that are specific to you, that is going to be on that self-love mountain. And at the top is the goal of where we want to get to feel more confident and at home in our body. So we all try and tackle climbing that mountain, but there are a lot of things that are stopping us from getting to the top being feeling better in our bodies. But that doesn't stop us from trying. Like, it's a challenge, but we do it anyway. So I'm curious, what are some of the ways that you have tried to get to the top of Self-Love Mountain? What are some of the ways that you have tried to feel better in your body and more confident in your body? Let's put the chat on the screen. All right. Okay, so, oh, my mum's on the stream. Sarah McLaughlin, I'm in Donegal. Okay, so some of the ways that you are working to overcome this. Speaking out loud to my body parts and telling them I love them. Focus on the things I do like about myself. Getting rid of clothes that don't fit. Educating myself about the lies of diet culture. Focus. Oh yeah, that's that one. Following more people on social media that look like me. Following women on Instagram who look like me. A zillion self-help books. Fake tan, makeup, nails. Burlesque and belly dancing. Looking at other bodies that look like mine on social media. Trying to buy proper clothing, not just baggy to hide. Wearing clothing that shows skin. Walking around naked. Okay. Building myself a community of other fat folks working through the same things. All righty, perfect. So let's just move this chat away again. A lot of stuff. You're doing the stuff, right? You're doing the stuff, and so these are the common things that people are doing, and a lot of the things that you mentioned. Watching, reading books, watching TEDx talks. Or maybe fat positive shows, following famous fatties on social media, listening to podcasts, talking to family and friends about it, building communities, swilling new ideas around your brain, maybe journaling. So you got the reading, watching, following, listening, connecting, and thinking. So what is missing from this? What is missing from all of those things I said? So here's a reminder of the slide before. What is missing from that? Let's have a look. So what's missing from all of those things? You might be like, that is everything. Okay, yeah, we've got the action, doing, action, doing. Yes, you all know it. You know it. Okay, so taking action. Taking action is the thing that is missing. And this is a crucial formula that so many people just don't know. They don't know. And if they did, they would probably do it. Maybe a lot of people might not because it's scary. But I'm showing you this formula today so that you are aware what could be happening if you are not at a place of body love. So let's get it deeper into this. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, I'm just going to take the chat off the screen. Isn't technology amazing? Okay, so imagine if you wanted to learn how to swim. And your goal is to learn how to swim. You currently don't know how to swim. The method you use to swim is to educate yourself. Okay, so you do all of the things we spoke about in the other slide. So reading books on how to swim, watching videos on how to swim, following swimmers on Instagram, listening to swimming podcasts, all that type of stuff. But does that mean, so you're an expert on how to swim in your brain? Does that mean that you will now know how to swim? Maybe you could coach others how to swim, but are you now not afraid of the water? Are you now a confident swimmer? Well, no, because you're not doing the thing. And so you can intellectually know all of the things, but you are scared yourself and are not confident so that you can swim yourself because you've not taken action. And so the option 2 is to take that education piece and team it with this. Here represents action. So want to learn how to swim, we educate ourselves and do it, and then the result is happy face. So and something else here that is really important to point out is that the action has to be the right action. Okay, so we've got 2 things here. We've got tinkling our toes in the water, or we've got diving into the deep end. What could happen if you dove or dived, if you jumped into the deep end and you were not a swimmer? You don't know how to swim and you're not confident about swimming. What would happen if you just jumped in the deep end? What could happen? So tell me in the comments. What could happen? if you just jumped in the deep end and you have no experience swimming and you have no confidence. Okay, let's put this chat on the screen. Okay, so trauma, get overwhelmed, drown. You would be in over your head. Thermic shock. Oh, that's an interesting one. Panic, flail, drown. Yeah. Either you would drown or your fight kicks in and you find a way. Yep. Your bikini could fly off. That is true. So often when I've jumped in the pool, my bikini goes up over my tits. So yeah. So people get really excited, right? They get really excited and they say, right, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to go and grab my bikini and go to the pool, you know, or whatever it is that they want to do. And you can really struggle when you do it that way, because you could have a traumatizing experience and then it confirm your previous suspicion that you can't do it. And it just confirms that, yeah, I can't do it. It's too scary. It's too much. And then you just retreat again. But if we take action in a way that is supporting us and feels good, it's a little bit scary, but you can still do it, then you will be more likely to succeed. And so that's where coming and tinkling our toes in the water, if you're scared of the water, tinkling your toes is something that you could probably do. You know how when we're kids, they teach you to swim in the kiddie pool where it's nice and warm, filled with piss, but whatever, we kids, we don't mind. So you go to the kiddie pool and it's a little pool and it's not too scary. And then you see the bigger kids in the big pool and even the bigger kids in the diving pool, and you work your way up to it. Imagine if you took that kid and you're like, okay, kid, let's go and let's jump off the biggest diving board. Would that kid ever swim again? Probably not. So there is a name for this that I coined, and that name is, for this whole process of being in educating yourself and not taking action. And the name for this is constant learner mode. So why is it that we do this? Why do we get stuck in constant learner mode? Well, just an FYI, if you believe that it's okay to people to like their body, it's okay to be fat, but when you look at your own body, you're like, oh, but my body isn't good, then it is probably that you're stuck in constant learner mode. So if intellectually you know, but you don't believe it for yourself, you're probably in that constant learner mode. So tell me in the comments if that is you, if you feel like it's okay to be fat, other fat people are cool, but not my own fat body. Give me a yes in the chat if that's you. So the reason why we get stuck in constant learner mode is it's scary to take action. It is. Full stop. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you can learn how to love your body and it's never going to be difficult. It's never going to be scary. No, it will be. It's scary, but it doesn't need to be overwhelmingly scary. It doesn't need to be debilitating. We can get to a place where things are challenging, but we can still do it. Okay, so it's scary to take action. We don't know how to take action. We don't get taught in school how to unfuck yourself from diet culture and fat phobia. That would be good. Well, it'd be good if we just never got fucked up with it in the first place. We don't know how, right? We could have taken action before and it went badly, that jumping in the deep end. And we can a lot of times not feel confident enough to take action. So it's kind of like, I don't feel confident enough to feel confident. It's kind of chicken and egg, right? And also a lot of people don't understand the importance of taking action. So this is really, really common. Don't feel bad if this is you and you're stuck in this place. It's really, really common. So the consequences of if we stay here, we're going to reinforce the belief that confidence is for other
people. I'm just not the type of person who is confident in their body. It's just not my personality, or I've just experienced this for so many years. It's just not possible for me. It lowers our self-belief. We can feel dejected, overwhelmed, and exhausted, especially if we keep trying to climb that mountain and we keep failing. That's exhausting, right? And because of that, this means that we miss out on hitting our goals. Most importantly, we don't get to do all the cool shit and life-changing important stuff that we deserve to do. Okay, so what happens when we say no to the constant learner mode? When we say no to the constant learner mode, we can do things like stop disguising yourself, wear the damn bikini if you want to. You might not be a bikini wearer. Free your fabulous arms, end the negative thought spiral and use that extra brain space to do cool shit. Be in all the photo, ditch the boring clothes, stop pulling down your top to hide your belly. So if we say no to the constant learner mode, these are the types of cool shit that we can do. And I love this. And the reason why it's not just one thing is all of us have different goals, right? There's not one thing that we all want to move towards, like, for example, wear a bikini. Because some people are like, I'm not a bikini wearing person, that's just not my thing, or I already do wear a swimsuit without problems, but it's really, this is difficult for me. So whatever it is that it feels aligned to you is what we can do when we say no to the constant learner mode. Okay.
So the first challenge is to make a pledge to move out of constant learner mode and to take action. All right, make a pledge that you are going to move out of constant learner mode and you are going to take action with an exclamation mark. So you can either, whatever way you want to do that. So you can make a note on your phone. You can write it out on a piece of paper. You can email me and say, Victoria, I pledge to get out of constant learner mode. Or you can, if you're in the Fierce Fatty Friends group, you can share in the group that you are going to move out of constant learner mode. Yeah, if you're not in my group, then what are you even doing with life? Get into my Facebook group and make sure when you request to get into my Facebook group that you answer the questions, because if you don't, then you won't get accepted, because we want to make sure that no trolls are in there. And so, yeah, just want to make sure that you're a real human being with good intentions and all that type of stuff. Anyway, so you can do that any way you like, but just do it. You know, the difference between people who are successful at this type of stuff is them taking action. And it might just seem like a little thing, but you're making a commitment to yourself to say, okay, I'm going to move out of that constant learner mode. And so it's important. All right, so either pause the podcast right now, or let's continue on to the next day of the challenge. Yesterday's challenge was to make a pledge to move out of constant learner mode and to take action. So tell me in the comments, did you complete yesterday's challenge? Did you complete yesterday's challenge? And that was to make a pledge to move out of constant learner mode and to take action. So did you make your pledge? I'm seeing all these comments of, oh, onion rings. Yes, yes, yes. Challenge complete. Amazing. I love it. Yes, yes. Oh, you guys, amazing. You humans. I don't like saying guys. I don't know why it came out. Incredible. Perfect. So you're doing it, aren't you? You're just doing it. You're doing the things. Done, done, done. Oh my gosh. Okay. You all are amazing. Okay, so let's get into today's content. So I want to share with you, there are three ingredients that you need to get to the top of the mountain. So the first ingredient is self-belief. I'm going to share ingredient 2 and 3 later, but let's focus on self-belief. So does anyone feel like this? LOL, I don't have self-belief that I can get to the top of this mountain. Like, imagine if you were placed in front of a mountain, Mount Everest, let's say, and I said, you've not had any training. I said, hey, go and climb that mountain right now. And you're just like, what? I was just eating my snack of pineapple and yogurt and onion rings a minute ago. I'm in my flip-flops. I can't climb Mount Everest. Would that be reasonable for you to have a lack of self-belief that you couldn't climb Mount Everest in that moment? Would that be reasonable? Yes, that would be reasonable. It's wise not to have self-belief in that situation, because it would save your life. If you did just say, fuck it, I'm going to try my best and I'm going to climb Mount Everest in my flip-flops with some onion rings in my pocket, you die. Like, it wouldn't work out. So when we look at, obviously we're not actually climbing Mount Everest, we're climbing the self-love mountain. That too is reasonable to say, I don't have the self-belief that I can get all the way to the top. Like, so many people say to me, I just can't imagine myself doing the things that you do, Victoria. And I think, well, yeah, because for a lot of people, it's so far from what their current reality is, that it is just alien. And so they don't have the self-belief that they can get there, which is reasonable. So what we want to do is to make sure that we are not looking at that whole mountain. Instead, let's look at just one little piece. So let's look at just this little piece here. And let's zoom in and let's start at the very beginning. Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. Anyone know where that's from? We've got the musical edition here today. Okay, so we want to start at base camp 0. So base camp 0 is you being at the bottom of the mountain, looking up. And instead of looking all the way up, however high that mountain is for you, and being overwhelmed and feeling like I can't do it because you've never done it. Instead, we want to look at it on a smaller level. Okay, so base camp 1 is where we're working towards. But we're not even really at base camp 0 yet. Right now, we're walking up to the mountain. We're like, I think I'm going to go to base camp 0. So that's where we are, like, right now today. We're like, okay, I pledge to get out of constant learner mode. And so we're like, I'm going to get out of constant learner mode. I'm going to walk up to that first base camp 0. So we need to work out what is base camp 1 for us. And therefore, what is base camp 0? Doing this first little bit here, it is reasonable, right? You're not going to climb the mountain and die. We're just going to do just this little bit. Okay, so let me just go back and check the comments, make sure everyone is, oh, lovely singing. Oh no, that's going to be stuck in my head for weeks. I'm sorry. Oh, it's Tammy. Oh, hey, Tammy. Okay, so I'm going to just remove the chat so we can zoom in a little bit, because we've got some smaller text coming up here. All right, so we want to get to base camp 1. Now, for me, in my personal journey, you might have seen me around the internetwebs.com wearing a bikini. Now, the reason why I'm often found wearing a bikini is that
when I hated myself, I had a list of 30 things to do before I was 30. So I had this list, and there was 30. I was like, there was 30 things on there. So 30 things on there. I still have it. I should have found it and brought it out and showed you. But there was lots of different things on there. Like I used to love Kate Nash. So go to a Kate Nash concert, and then afterwards I met Kate Nash, and she signed the list and crossed it off for me. Eat a Big Mac, because I had never eaten a Big Mac. Not a Big Mac, a Whopper. And have sex with someone outside. So lots of different things. And one of them was lose enough weight so that I will be thin enough to wear a bikini. So like all those other ones sounded so much fun, right? But lose enough weight so that I would be, quote unquote, allowed to wear a bikini. Now that never happened. I was never thin enough. And so this was kind of like it was really symbolic for me to wear the bikini. Now, your base camp one will be totally different. It could be the same. You could also have, a thing about like, I want to wear a bikini, and that's absolutely fine. And it's absolutely fine if that's not you as well. Okay, so my base camp one was to wear a bikini. So wearing a bikini, that was too much, right? Wearing a bikini was a foreign concept to me. I barely wore a standard swimsuit. I'd be at the pool, and as soon as I get out of the changing rooms, I'd leg it as fast as possible without running, because you're not allowed to run at the pool. Swiftly walk and get in the pool as quickly as humanly possible so no one could see me, right? So that's where I was at. And so wearing a bikini was like LOL. But I wanted to do it. So what was my base camp zero? My base camp zero was Google where to buy plus size bikinis. Okay, that was my base camp zero. Google where to buy plus size bikinis. Is that something that I could do? Yeah, I could do that. And so this is what could happen after. So Googling where to buy plus size bikinis. Okay, now we're going to buy a bikini that isn't too revealing. So not a string bikini, but maybe a bikini that is high-waisted and a bikini that is very structural to hold my tits in, right? So that's the next step. I bought it, all right? Next step, I'm not going to wear that shit outside. Fuck no. I'm going to wear it in the house. So I've completed my base camp one. I've worn a bikini. It's in the house. But I want to challenge myself even more because I want to wear it outside. I do. And so the next step is to go to the beach and wear a cover-up. Wear a cover-up. So I'm not actually in my bikini. I'm covered up. But I'm doing it. Then the next step, take off the cover-up for just a minute. Just a minute. When no one's looking, and then quickly put it back on. And then when that is feeling good, do something like go to a pool when it's quiet and wear my bikini. Now in this journey, you may need to go back to just wearing it in the house. And then you may have a burst of exuberance and excitedness and just be like, I'm just going to go to the pool and just do it. And that could feel good. And so this is kind of like everyone, it's different. It could be up and down, up and down, up and down. See how this is kind of up and down like that. Okay. And while we're doing this, we're also dealing with the fat phobic thoughts that come up, or the fear, all of the bullshit that we have on the main mountain. So let me just go back and check the comments. Okay, good. So is this making sense? Let me know in the comments that this is making sense to you, that we need to go to base camp 0 and not looking at the whole mountain. So let me know in the comments if this is making sense. Okay, so next,
once we've done all this, and so you can be like, okay, well, Victoria, I know that you've worn a bikini at the pool before. I've seen a video. Maybe you've not. But doing these things, these small, tiny little steps, is going to create something like this. So these are all pictures of me. Now, in the first image, this is a screenshot from a video that I did of dancing at my local pool. And Summer Innanen, my friend, another body image coach, was filming me. And so I danced in my bikini in front of a handful of people. That was my first step. My next step, and obviously this is when I'm a lot more confident about my body. Next step, number 2, I danced in a public market in my bikini. And a few hundred people were there in the public market. As you can see, there's a car behind me right here. There were buses of tourists going by. It's like a busy market area with traffic. So a few hundred people saw me on the day, and then a few thousand watched the video. Next, I danced on stage at the end of my TEDx talk in front of 2,600 people. Then afterwards, hundreds of thousands of people watched the video. And most recently, I was on a BBC documentary, and I spent most of the program in my bikini. I stood in the street in the middle of Oxford in my bikini for about an hour or two. And that was viewed by 2.5 million people. Now it's a lot more because people are streaming it. So if I had said, okay, Victoria, your goal is to stand in the middle of Oxford on a BBC show for 2.5 million people to watch you in your bikini, go on, off you go. No, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I couldn't. I first had to take all of these steps and all the steps that we can't see that are above, but you can imagine what they were. And so if you can't imagine doing these types of things, that's totally to be expected. But I want to say, like, dream big, right? But also know that we should be starting here at base camp 0. All right. So, okay, making sense. Good, good, good. All right. Now, so my question to you is, what could be your base camp 1? What could be your base camp 1? So let me read these out to you and tell me in the comments if any of these are resonating with you. Any of these are things that you would like to do. And it could be that you want to do all of them or none of them. But let's have a look. So your base camp 1 could be buy a bikini that shows your belly / FUPA, fat upper pelvis area, or fat upper pussy area. Eat 10 food items that you have been anxious about. Tell my mum that I want her to stop talking about diets in front of me. Get my friend to take 20 cute selfies of me. Wear a crop top in public for at least 20 minutes. Destroy my scales. Empty my closet of all inspirational, quote unquote, outfits and things that don't fit. Delete weird Uncle Keith who has fatphobic views from my Facebook. Say no to that thing that I have been doing but don't like. Try a new activity like bike riding, speed dating, or singing. Book a vacation that I've been putting off because I feel anxious in my body. And then take the vacation when COVID is over. Become president or prime minister. Right? Who knows? You could be close to that. Ask for a pay rise. Share an updated picture of me and my full body on social media. Join a dating app and message 5 people. Go rollerblading in neon lycra boombox with a wet perm singing Lizzo songs at full volume. Join an age-positive community. Have sex with my partner with the lights on. So which of those are resonating with you? Let's put the chat up on the screen here. Okay, so
Lots of things. Destroy my scales. Share a full body picture on social media. Empty the closet of inspirational clothes. Wear a crop top in public and start dating again. Try a new movement activity. I definitely want to try dating. It's scary for me. I did recently buy my first bikini. Amazing. Empty the closet. I think my base camp one is to wear a sleeveless blouse anytime or anywhere. Amazing. These are just incredible. And of course, these are just my suggestions. Yours could be something else. Okay. All right. So you might be getting a little bit, the heebie-jeebies, a little bit scared with the idea of doing the thing. Okay. And lacking self-belief. Okay, so let's dive into this. So let's take one of these things, try a new activity. And let's say try the new activity is bike riding. Okay, so the types of things that would be your base camp 0. So before you even get to base camp 1, the base camp 0. First, Google bike shop near me. Research what bikes are good that you may like. Watch videos of fat people having fun on bikes. Look at where the bike shop is on Google Street View. Pick a bike route that looks fun. Decide what friend you'll bring with you. Imagine the breeze blowing through your hair and how good you'll feel after. Okay, so they are some of the actions that you can take to get to your base camp 1. Say if your base camp 1 was trying a new activity, bike riding. So can you tell me in the comments, yes, if you think you can do any of these things? Can you Google something? Can you watch a video? Talk to a friend? Walk into a shop? Sit on a bike? Cycle 1 block? Take the bike back and go for a pub lunch? Can you do those things? Tell me in the comments. Yes, 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 yes. Amazing. So then you have self-belief. Okay. So before you might have thought that you don't have self-belief. You do have self-belief. And so that LOL, I don't have self-belief, is because we are looking at it. We're looking at the top of the mountain that's so high up, it is unfathomable. But we can actually say, I've got self-belief that I can take those first steps. I've got self-belief that I can do the stuff to get to base camp 0 to then achieve my base camp 1 goal. Okay. So today's challenge is to pick your base camp 1 goal and 1 base camp 0 action. So if your base camp 1 goal is, I want to ride a bike, your base camp 0 action could be Google where I can rent a bike. Okay. And share in the comments below or in the Facebook group what it is. And bonus points, complete the base camp 0 action before tomorrow. Okay. Now, something that I want to caution you on is to make sure that your base camp 1 goal is something that's tangible. So I will go to 1 dance class at XYZ studio versus I want to feel good / confident. So a lot of people, when they think about their base camp 1 goal, they're like, I just want to feel good. Well, what does that mean? How do you know when you've achieved feeling good or feeling confident? How do you know? How can you get there? There's nothing tangible, right? So make sure that it's tangible. Make sure that you feel it's a challenge, but not impossible. Okay, so if you already own loads of bikinis and you already wear bikinis out, then maybe wearing a bikini is not your base camp 1 goal. Maybe it's something different that makes you feel a little bit scared. Okay, that you know is going to challenge you, right? So don't pick something that you're already doing, because that is not going to help you grow. Okay, and also make sure it's something that is doable within the next little while. And also for our base camp 1 goal, let's pick a date that we're going to achieve it by. Okay, so we can be accountable to ourselves and to our accountability buddies that I'm going to do this base camp 1 goal by this date. And the date could be a week from now, it could be a year from now. It's better if it's somewhere in between, probably, within the next month or so, 2 months, 3 months max. And then look at your base camp 0 actions. So make sure your base camp 0 action feels doable. Okay. So a reminder, today's challenge, pick your base camp 1 goal and 1 base camp 0 action, and share it in the comments. Tag your accountability buddies, and bonus points if you can do the base camp 0 action by tomorrow. Okay, so Erin says, getting photographed and looking at it. Yes. Is it doable? It's doable, but what if I feel worse after? So remember in yesterday's training, we spoke about not jumping into the deep end. So if there's a chance that you think that you're going to feel like shit afterwards, perhaps take it back a bit and tinkle your toes. Okay. So it could be physically doable, but if you're not emotionally there, take it back, dial it back. And what is the version of tinkling your toes in the water? So perhaps share what it is that you want to do, and I can tell you what a toe tinkling could look like. All right, so let's have a look. Download a dating app and start talking to people on it. Okay, so Mary, start talking to people. Let's get more specific. How many people are you going to be sending messages to? Do you have a goal? I'm going to send messages to 5 people, to 2 people, to 20 people. Let's get even more specific. Okay, maybe take some selfies. Yes. Okay. My goal is to change my Facebook profile picture to a current photo. Not sure what my action should be. Okay, so Jessie, you want to change your Facebook profile picture to a current photo. Do you have the photo that you're thinking of? How does that feel to you? Can you take some selfies? Can you think of an outfit that feels good to you and get someone to take some pictures of you in that outfit that you like? Can you look at those photos and give yourself some compassion and write some things down that you like about yourself, or reasons why it's really important for you to share that photo? Okay, so if you have the photo already and you're good to go, then you can just do it, right? But if you're not feeling confident that you can just do it, then what can you do to break it down and make it easier for you? Okay. So my base camp 0 is Googling plus size crop tops that are not black. Yes. I'm going to, where did that go? I'm going to post a swimsuit pic on Facebook. I'm going to start by posting a couple in groups that I feel safe in. Yes, Laura, that's perfect. That is perfect. You see how Laura has got this goal of putting a picture on Facebook. That is big. But let's start smaller by doing it in a place that is safe. And then you're probably going to get some wonderful feedback, and it's going to feel good. And then you're going to feel more confident to be able to do the bigger goal, which is putting it on your main Facebook page. Okay, so Elizabeth says, Base Camp 1, wear a sleeveless top in public to a grocery store maybe before July 1st. Base Camp 0, go to a shop and try on at least 3 sleeveless tops by tomorrow. Oh my gosh, amazing. Perfect. People could share in our group. Yeah, so you could share in the Facebook group underneath. So there is going to be a post with today's challenge on there. Underneath there, post any photos that you want to post. Try anything there because it is a safe space. Okay. I'm loving all this. Like, you've got good ideas. Let's see. Oh, Amanda says, Base Camp 1 goal, take a boudoir style shoot of myself. I'm going to research poses and lighting tonight and maybe order plus size lingerie. Yes, Amanda, that is perfect. That is, and I love the way that you've broken that down from the bigger goal and then getting it to the zeros, the Base Camp 0 actions that you can take. Okay, Melissa says, try Camp 1, try a new movement activity. Camp 0, research 2 to 3 Zoom body positive class options. Yes, I love it. Olga says, 0, cute, Google cute dresses in my real size. 1, wear a dress where I show off my shoulders at my friend's big party in the beginning of June. Woo, yes, amazing. Mary says she's going to message 5 people on the dating app. Oh, those lucky people. Amazing. Love it. Okay. So if you want any to take any of the Base Camp 0 actions inside the Facebook group, then make sure that you put it underneath. There's going to be a post that looks exactly like this, and you can put it underneath there and tag your accountability buddies, and we will all support you for doing these amazing things. Like, holy shit, you're doing it. Like, you're doing it. This is so exciting. Okay, so I'm like, I can hang around here forever looking at all of these comments. Erin says, wearing clothes that do not always have to cover up my belly / fupa. Base Camp 0 is going to be starting out small, maybe wearing something that shows my visible belly outline in the house. Yes, Erin, yes. And then, Erin, you can do something like go outside, but with a coat on, and underneath is the is something that's more visible, but only you know it. And then maybe while you're outside, you can open up your coat just a little bit, just for a second, just to see how it feels. And then maybe you might want to take it off just a little bit more, open it up a little bit more, and that could be your 0 action. Okay, yes. All right, so this is excellent. You all absolutely rock my world, honestly. The bravery is through the roof. I hope that you know that you can do this, though, right? I hope you have that self-belief, that first part of those of that 3 ingredient thing. I'm going to be sharing the other 2 tomorrow. I hope you have that self-belief while also, still shitting your pants. It's fine to be taken, to be really scared about this, but know that you can do it. And if you think that you can't, maybe you need to break it down even more, and be as gentle and as kind to yourself. And remember to not jump in the deep end where you could damage your journey, because if you're like, I'm just going to walk around the street with my tits out, that could traumatize you. And we don't want that. We want it to be gentle. We want it to be affirming. We want it to be fun. We want it to be a little bit challenging enough without it being terrifying. Okay. So just because you're not standing on a TEDx stage in your bikini doesn't mean that it's not good enough. We are overcoming years of programming that tell us fat bodies are not okay. And so to do that, we're having to take steps like this. Okay. So what you're doing is really, really cool, badass, and brave. All right. Okay, so it might be a good idea now, if you didn't pause before, if you can, to pause the podcast to have a think about what your Basecamp 1 goal is and what your Basecamp 0 action is. And then pick when you're going to do it. You might do it right this second. So you might decide, okay, my Basecamp 0 action is to Google something. So you might pause the podcast and just fucking Google it, or whatever it is that you need to do, what you want to do. So do that now, or take this time. You can just, if you're doing something, you can take the time just to pause the podcast and just have a little think in your brain. You might be thinking while I'm talking. Look at you multitasking. Have a think in your brain what you would like to do. All right. So now we're going to move into day 3. And you're going to hear all of the incredible things that people got up to. And it blows my mind. It's so freaking inspiring. And people are just like, oh, no big deal. Since yesterday, I walked down this high street with, my bum hole showing, and it was no big deal. People are doing things and they're taking action even though they're scared. And that is just... oh, it makes my heart pitter patter. Oh, just love it. Just love it. So, okay, let's get on with hearing what people have achieved and the day 3 content. And your challenge yesterday was to pick a Basecamp 1 goal and 1 Basecamp 0 action. And bonus points if you completed Basecamp 0 action before tomorrow, which is today. So tell me in the comments, did you do it? And did you complete your Basecamp 0 action? I did. Yes, but not S. Yes, but not yes and yes. Ordered the crop top. Yes. Yes, completed Basecamp 0 action. Yes. Oh my God. Ordered the shorts. Yes, I Googled how to take a full length selfie. Yes, I completed the challenge. Oh my gosh. You lot are rocking my world. You're doing it. I did mine. I researched boudoir and photography and ordered a red and black lingerie set. Ooh la la. Where did you get it from, Amanda? Yes, chose some cute clothes online. Amazing. I picked out the bikini. I did. I downloaded the dating app. Oh, man. Wow. This is incredible. Oh, be still my beating heart. You're doing the things. I Googled burlesque classes in my area. Yes, Katya. Christina says, I had a tough time picking a girl. That's okay. We can still work on this stuff. I got it from Shein. Now, how do you say this? Is it Shine or Shein or something else? I've always called it Shine, but now I've seen people talking about it online and they're calling it Shein. And now I'm like, who knows how it's pronounced? So how is it pronounced? Okay, you lot rock. You're incredible. Okay, so did you do it? Yes, you did. Now, we know how to get to Basecamp 1. We need to work out how to get to the summit. and avoid all the scary pitfalls and overcome the dangers in the process. So we're climbing here, and as we would be climbing any mountain, it's not just a simple route up. As you know, when you're climbing the self-love mountain, the reasons why we have maybe not been successful in the past is because of all of these pitfalls. And so there are 3 ingredients that you need to get to the top. Yesterday, we spoke about self-belief. And now hopefully you have channeled that self-belief that you can get to base camp 1 and understand that it's a part of you. You've got that determination. You can do it. You can take those tiny actions, those base camp 0 actions, and those types of actions continue. And if you have that self-belief, now we can move into the next stage, which is the roadmap. Okay, so if we're going to climb a mountain, we need to know, okay, go this way, go that way, avoid this, make sure you're doing A, B, C. And I want to share that with you now. So this is the Fierce framework, and this is your roadmap to body confidence. So I've put it like this in a triangle, but it's kind of hard to read like this, so I put it on its side. But this is the climbing the mountain right to the top, and we've got 3 stages, and each stage has 2 modules in there. So let's turn it on its side. Let me just go and check the comments. I always said Sheen. Okay, Sheen. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so let's look at this roadmap. So we've got FIERCE, Fierce framework, and we've got explore, unleash, and activate. So the Fierce framework is a proven methodology that will seek out all the unhelpful, fat-phobic, and self-limiting beliefs, zap them into outer space, and replace them with new beliefs that support your journey to becoming someone who loves their body unconditionally. And do we want to be people who love and accept our bodies unconditionally? I know I do. So tell me in the chat if you are resonating with these steps. Okay, so first off, diet culture, so Feelings Foundation, diet culture not only affects the way that we eat, but also fucks with our body satisfaction in a big way. So first, we need to learn how diet culture has messed with your life and root out those nasty messages you believe about yourself, because baby, they ain't true. Tell me in the chat some nasty, fat-phobic, diet culture-based messages that you believe about yourself currently. So tell me in the chat some of those messages that you currently believe. So here we need to understand why you feel the way you do and learn how to change those feelings. Okay, great. I'm seeing all these beliefs come through. Belief, I should always hide my fatness, especially in photos with thin friends. Yes. Diet culture messaging, fat people aren't worthy of love, can't possibly find a mate. Yes. Even though my partner tells me, where did it go? These messages move too quickly for me to read. Can't find a partner because I'm fat. Shouldn't be in a gym. Yes. Melissa says, bad timing with the real troll. Yeah. I can't get my arthritis treated until I lose lots of weight. Yeah, absolutely. So this stuff is, it's insidious. It's everywhere. We believe it. It's just, no, sucks. Okay. So next, internal revolution. So how many years have you felt dissatisfied with your body? For a lot of people, it's their whole life. We don't want to spend the rest of our lives unlearning all the negative messages we have internalized before we feel comfortable in our skin. And with module 2, step 2, you won't have to. You need to use proven, systematic, and effective ways to change your neural pathways so you can begin to feel better. So tell me in the comments, how long have you not liked your body? How long have you not liked your body? About 30, 35. Just reading all these other messages, my entire life, my whole life, since I was a child. Yeah. Yeah. And so for me, it was since I was the first time I was aware that I had a body. So that's a lot, but we don't actually need to spend the next X amount of years unlearning this stuff. When we have got this path, this roadmap, we can take the steps to feel better quickly. All right, so next, enlightened eating. So it's hard to have a quote unquote normal relationship with food when we live in a society that tells us there are good and bad food choices. And living in a smaller body means you're automatically healthy. So you need to ditch those negative beliefs to the curb and understand what is happening in your brain when you quote unquote binge or quote unquote overeat, or when you're dieting. Enlightened eating is like intuitive eating, but is specifically for living in fat bodies, for people living in fat bodies who have another layer of trauma to heal. So tell me in the chat, do you feel like you might have some trauma around food, around the messages around food, around what you should be eating, around like, you can't win. Like if you eat a salad, then, oh, you're eating a salad to look like you eat healthier. And if you don't eat a salad, then you should be eating a salad, because if you don't, then you're not healthy. So tell me in the chat if that is resonating with you. Absolutely, definitely. Yes, I have a lot of trauma around food. Yes, holy cow, yes. Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah. And it's even harder, like dealing with food stuff when you're straight sized is one thing, because people can be very supportive of you learning to not diet. But when you're in a fat body, people are like, well, shouldn't you engage in disordered eating? And it's praised a lot of times. Eating disorders in fat people are praised so often, and disordered eating is praised. And so it's very, very difficult to learn this stuff when you are living in a bigger body. Okay, next. Oh, so we're in the next bit of the Unleashed section. Phew, we are bombarded with hundreds of thousands of messages about who we should be day in and day out. No wonder we start to believe the lies that we are fed. So in this module, you'll learn how to wrangle your inner critic so that those damaging messages don't shake your confidence like they have been doing for years. And so bombarded with hundreds of thousands of messages, AKA like that troll that just came along to try and ruin our party. But we are not going to let trolls ruin our party. And so I wonder if you have any other, apart from trolls, messages that you're getting in your life from not only society, but from your friends and families. Is that something that you struggle with as well? So tell me in the chat. Are you also hearing messages from friends and family that your body is not okay and that you need to diet? Glowy Nutrition says, not anymore, thankfully. Thankfully, yes. Yes, Dina says friends. Yeah, this is a big one. And that, that's just one section. But it's so powerful from when it's from people that we know and love. Steph says, yes, constantly. Yes, definitely, especially parents, family for sure. Yes, my mother. Yeah, so we then internalize those messages and we start to believe them, because why wouldn't we? It would be reasonable for us to believe the things that people are telling us. So, okay. Now, courageous commitment. Now, you have already been doing this. And this is something that we need to keep doing. Learning how to be confident is fine and dandy, but what about actually taking the actions you need to take? So you need to test out your new confidence muscles and do the things that you previously never thought possible. And a reminder that you seriously can do it. Okay? So finally, we want to excel with ease. So if you plan on moving forward with your life now that you feel fan-fucking-tastic and you're getting near to the top of the self-love mountain, then you need to continue to harness the tools that you've learned so that you can overcome any of life's challenges that may give you confidence wobbles. Tell me in the chat, what things give you confidence wobbles? What things can make you feel like not very good about yourself? And I wonder if you have a strategy to deal with those wobbles when they come up. Because guess what? They are gonna come up. They always come up. That's just life, right? So showing my fupa in public, seeing my side profile in pictures, bringing my daughter swimming. Yeah. So these are things that we want to do, right? We don't want to have to stop doing these things. And we want to know how to overcome them when they do come up. Brianna says, people staring. Yeah. And it would be good if we could just say to people, stop fucking looking at me, close your eyes when I walk by. But, you know, those are things that we can't do. Nicholas says, going to the doctor with pretty much any issue. I stop and breathe and reframe my thought. Yeah, great idea, Kimberly. Elizabeth says, any social event triggers my lack of confidence and send me into fits of wondering what to wear, conceal my body as best as possible. And we don't want that, right? We do not want that because it just makes life so much harder. So much harder. What if we could just not think about that bullshit and just be going out, going to the doctors, seeing our friends, doing stuff with our kids, and not having to think about that tomfuckery, right? Okay, so moving on to, we've got the self-belief, we've got the roadmap. Now, the third ingredient. The third ingredient, if you were to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, you have the self-belief, you've got the roadmap. Now, what else would you want? You would want a guide, someone who is an expert who is going to help you because they're experienced, get up that mountain. So what happens when we are missing any part of this, these ingredients that we need to get up the mountain? So if we just look here, if we have self-belief and we had the roadmap, but we had no guide, we've got no support. If we've got self-belief and a guide, but no roadmap, we've got the wrong direction. If we've got the roadmap and the guide, but no self-belief, we've got no results. So let's go into here deeper. Now, if you've got no roadmap, then what's going to happen is that you are going to do things, and this is something that we probably all have done, to try and make us feel more confident, and that is to diet, okay? Because we don't have a roadmap for confidence. We don't know how to do it, right? And so what do we do to try and feel confident? We try and diet and gain confidence in unsustainable ways. Tell me in the chat if that is something that you have tried in the past. If you have, because you've had no roadmap, you've tried to become confident by dieting or doing things that are unsustainable to try and increase that confidence. And what happens when you are doing that is that you get exhausted because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it leads to burnout. And it's like your self-belief, then your self-belief starts to fade. Your self-belief starts to fade. So we've tried that, and now we all know that that is not sustainable, right? And so it's no good. So what if, for example, we had no self-belief. And that is what we've been working on in this challenge, is to make you realize that you can do things that are going to support your journey into feeling amazing. So imagine if you had no self-belief, but you had the roadmap and you had a guide to help you get up the mountain. Well, without self-belief, then you're going to be stuck. So that's when you're going to be in constant learner mode. And that is why the whole of day one was talking about constant learner mode, because it is a big trap that people fall into. And as you have all pledged, hopefully all of you have, you're going to be getting out of constant learner mode. And if you stay there, this is going to reinforce negative self-beliefs, because you're stuck. And so your self-belief, you're going to be like, well, of course I'm stuck. It's because I can't do it. It's not possible for me. And that's not the truth. So finally, if we have self-belief, I think I can do it, and we have the roadmap, but we don't have a guide helping us out, it's going to be difficult to overcome the obstacles when they do come up, and they will come up. And that means that you lose self-belief. And then you begin to doubt the roadmap. Like, is this map true? I didn't know that there was this big crevice here and how difficult it was going to be. I don't know if I can cross it. And it takes a lot longer, and it is so depleting. And so a lot of people will give up because they can't see how close they are to the top, because they don't have a guide there to tell them, you're so close, you can do it. It's just this way. Take my hand. I'm going to lead you up this little bit here, which is difficult. So anyone resonating with that scenario? Oh, Melissa says, weight loss surgery, massive fail. Oh, such compassion for you, Melissa. That's so difficult. So many diets. Yeah. Name a diet. I've tried it. Yep. Yep. Okay, perfect. Good. So you have got a choice at this moment. Choice one, you can go it alone, potentially waste tons of time and effort trying to figure it out all by yourself. And we've been doing it all by ourselves already, right? Or choice two, you can fast track your results with a coach by your side and a proven roadmap. So today's challenge is deciding what you want to do next. So you have the self-belief. We've talked about that. You've now got the roadmap. I just shared it with you. Now you need to decide who is going to be your guide to lead you up self-love mountain. So I invite you to let me be your guide. There I am. I'm going to help you up self-love mountain. So we've had our 3 days here today, but our time together doesn't need to end. And if you do want to choose me as your guide, I would be thrilled. So right now, the chances are that my program, Fierce Fatty Academy, is not open for enrollment whenever you're listening to this podcast. And I'm sorry. But if you do want to choose to have me as your coach, then something that might be a fit for you is one-on-one coaching with me. I might not be the person to be your coach, right? You might be like, do you know what, actually, Victoria, I think you're a bit of a knob. And that's fine. That's fine. I might not be the right fit to be your coach, and you might not be the right fit to be coached by me. I work with a certain type of person, and that's someone who's quite motivated, who this is important for them, who's willing to learn and to be open and all that type of stuff. And so some people that's not them, and that's fine. It just means that there might be someone who is better for you out there. And there might be others who are doing something similar who can help you.
I'm like talking you out of, don't let me be your coach. I'm awful. No, I'm not. So you could also just decide to go it alone for whatever reason, right? There's lots of different reasons why you might decide to go it alone. And yes, it is harder and it will take longer, and you're not going to have someone there to help you and guide you on the way. But it's not impossible if you do want to do it on your own, right? It's not it's just not achievable. It's just going to be a lot more difficult. And sometimes that's just the what people do, and that's fine, right? For whatever reason that's what you might decide, that's fine. But if you do want to have someone by your side, then one-on-one coaching with me might be an option. If Fierce Fatty Academy is open, that might be an option. Whatever you think is the best fit for you. Is you're the boss of your brain, right? You know what's best for you. So go and make sure that you've done, if you haven't already paused the podcast to do the challenges, make sure you do the challenges, and then decide, like, what is your next step? What is your next step here? Is it to find a coach? To find, and whatever that could look like. Is it to, I haven't even told you how to, if you do want to do coaching with me, how you go about it. You'd go to my website, fiercefatty.com/coaching. Is that the URL? Hang on, let me just check. Or if it's like one-on-one or something. Coaching. Yeah. So fiercefatty.com/coaching. So you can have a look at the details, and then what happens is you will apply. So you see all the details, you'll see how much it costs, and then there's a button here saying I'm ready to apply, and then it will take you to a form, and the form asks you questions like what are your goals, what are you looking to achieve, what are your current frustrations, what is where are you now and where do you want to go, and asking if you have any questions, and then you apply, and then within 48 hours I will respond and say I think that you might not be the best fit for me, or I will say, hey, let's schedule a call just to meet, just to make sure that you are the right fit, and to make sure that I am the best person to serve you. And then we can decide to move forward or not. So yeah. Yep. So we want to make sure that you're the right fit before moving forward with anything. And that everyone feels good. All of that good stuff. All right, so I hope this has been helpful, and if nothing, I hope that you move out of that constant learner mode and have that self-belief. Seriously, a lot of people struggle with this idea that they can't do it. It's not possible for them for some reason, and they've got a reason in their head. They're too old. Their belly hangs too much. Their tits are too small. They an introverted person, whatever it is. And what I want to say is that when you take those smaller steps, it builds up into something else. And your body is not some sort of, abomination or disgusting or whatever. That is a belief, and that's something that we can change and we can work on, right? So I really want you to have that self-belief that you can do it and things can change for you. And really what all this whole work is about is me holding up a mirror to you, a mirror that is true, so that you can finally see who you are. You know how sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you're gorgeous," and then you'll be thinking, "Oh, they're just saying that to be nice, because really I'm not." But they're seeing something else, right? And the reality is that the mirror that you are maybe looking at is broken, or it's distorted, or it's just not doing its job for whatever reason. And this work is holding up a mirror that's true, so that you can be like, "Oh, actually, I was okay all along. Actually, I was pretty incredible, and I am pretty incredible, and I'm actually really fucking good looking, or whatever it is, right? So I hope that you realize that you can do it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next episode of the Fierce Fatty podcast. See you later, crocodile, and stay fierce, fatty. Thanks for listening to the episode. And if you feel ready to get serious about this work and want to know when the doors open to Fierce Fatty Academy, which is my signature program where I teach all about how to overcome your fat phobic beliefs and learn to love your fat body, then go to fiercefatty.com/waitlist. Again, that is fiercefatty.com/waitlist to get your name on the waitlist for when Fierce Fatty Academy, my signature program, opens.